Alright guys, here is the video I promised on this map. Let's just go through this pretty quick. It's something probably you can just watch over a couple times if you need to. And the maps are posted there on the site, so you can print those off, or any of the bigger ones. Maybe you wouldn't need to print them all off. That's totally up to you. I didn't get my voice all the way back, sorry, but I don't want to keep you guys waiting any longer, so here we go. This top layer is where you start. Let me pop these other ones off so they're not in our way. Alright, these pink towers here, those are the elevators. So when you see those, that's your elevators. You start out here. There's always parts to build the trample steam on this level. Some are out in the main area, some are past this purple by door. All the green windows you see are the zombie windows, like in the start area. These are the ones that are up above that you'd see the zombies dropping down from. So basically once you get up enough points, you can buy that door and get out of that start area. You go back on the back side of this, there's some zombie windows. You have access to that back elevator. There'll be your other elevator over here, sometimes a part here like the flag. Some other parts will sit on this wall or this wall. Your main drop down, or a drop down, is this back corner. You can drop down. That's where a lot of people will try and get to the gun room the first part of the match, if that's where they want to head. And if not, basically they just build up enough points and you end up buying the stairway down, which is that couch. So let's turn on that level. Help if I turned on the right level. There, so they'll buy the couch and they'll go down this set of stairs right here. You can drop from this point. This is a pretty tricky jump. A lot of times when I drop from there, I'll bypass this whole first level and drop all the way down to the trample steam room, which we'll get to in a minute. But if you do that, usually it's far enough drop that you go down. You don't die instantly, but you have to be revived. So if nobody else is down there, you're done. So let's go down to the next level below the start. When you buy the stairs, you get into these areas. There's an opening here, zombie window over there, access to this elevator over here. This back area is blocked unless you buy this door. This spot here, this drop down, that's what these half circle things are, drop downs. Or this one. Those are your main two that you'll see a lot of people trying to drop down to the trample steam room to build the trample steam. It's right under here. But if you drop down from the top and the back side, where I said a lot of people go to get the gun in the beginning of the match, you land here. You can run across here. And there's a stairway down that ultimately works you over towards getting into the gun. We'll get there in a minute, or the gun box. So anyway, so if you make those drops down to the trample steam, or just want to see the level below right now, we'll go ahead and do that. You'll drop down to one of these 2 points if you use one of those drops. Trample steam building tables right there. This is also that spot where you can jump from, if you put a trample steam down here, jump over to the roof of the power building, that whole other stack of buildings with the power and the other sets of elevators and all that. There's a buy spot here, which gives you access to that back elevator, but also opens up a couple other zombie windows. So in the start, a lot of people don't open that right away, just to keep down the number of spots where zombies are going to be coming at you. Anyway, that other path from the second level down, when you came down those stairs, this is the path to the box. You've got access into this area, which gives you access to an elevator and some zombie windows. But to go to the box, you're taking this back path, and you'll see when we turn on the other parts of the map, you're going this way, and that gets you over to the box. There's a slide where you slide down and then end up pretty much right at the box. If you jump from here across, there's the building over, and there'll be the mattresses here, and that's the path that you can also work your way over towards power, or the box, gun box, if you have a trample steam. I'll show you that in a minute. So trample steam room here. That's the main feature of this floor, plus the back access to the getting to the random box. If you take, this is the 4-man elevator over here, the one that you have access to right in that very first start level. If you put 4 guys in there, you can drop all the way down. It just takes you down to this long tunnel. There'll be some keys on the floor, a bunch of zombie windows. Over here on the wall, there's actually a key panel or whatever on the wall. But from this point, you can run and jump across, and that puts you really close to the power room, which I'll show you here in a little bit too. So that's a quick way. Some people will want to get over and turn the power on right away. Just an option, and you can get back and forth between there. But anyway, so let's turn on, like if we were going to go to the box, the random box, which if you came down from that first level on the back side, dropped down, worked your way around, came down this ramp, run across this back wall, you would be here. You would come down this ramp, which is a slide. It's one of those ones you just get on and slide down. It's that spot, and you can't stop. It just forces you down this box here for the random box. That's the start spot for the random box all the time for the guns, and it's actually on the ceiling right there. So in this room, there's a couple zombie windows, and then a path out this end of that first big room. Once you get out of here, you can hang a left, and you can do that. This is where you have that multi-drop down, boom, 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 all the way to the bottom, which gets you close to the AN-94 gun, and then over into that, what I think a lot of people call the Buddha room. If you happen to have been on this side, this is that big, huge hole in the floor. You'll know that when you get to it. This is the mattresses, so if you'd have jumped from here, that's your jump across to the mattresses. If you'd happen to have been over here, you can get back to the mystery box location, that's first start location anyway. The only problem is if you're in this spot right here, in between this door and this door, you have to have a trample steam and set it here, because there's a little bit of a ledge here, and you can't run this way. You can run this way, but you have to have a trample steam down to jump up over that ledge. So if you've already had a trample steam, and at some point in the match you're here, and you want to get there, just have a trample steam with you, you got to set it down, and you can jump there. Nothing else exciting on this level really. Sometimes this random box will respawn at the top of this slide. That's one of the other locations it can be. It'll be sitting right in here. So let's go down below this. So that big hole in the floor, that's that one. It's kind of got a ramp down. You can go below it. So it's below here, so I'll shut off this layer. So you come down, there's another access back here to those multiple drops where you get way down to the bottom towards the AN-94, plus the knuckles are down that drop path too, so if you want the Galv knuckles, you're going to want to be over in that area at some point. This level really has not much to it. So let's look at the power drop. I call it the power drop. That's that multiple drop area by the AN-94 and the knuckles. I'll turn that on. So you've got a drop here. If you're on the tops where the big hole in the circle in the floor is, if you drop from there, you drop down. There's one drop. If you're on the next level down, you drop to here. Then you turn sideways, jump over to here. The knuckles are right in this doorway. Nothing else in that room. It's just a small little cubby room, but the knuckles are there. So if you grab the knuckles, you come right back out here. Drop down this side. This is that slant ramp. You kind of got to jump over to the side. You hit. Make sure you hit the slant ramp so you don't get knocked down. And you'll plop down to this floor. Then you turn around, you come over and drop down here. And eventually you drop off the back of this side. You kind of hit a slant ramp. It forces you into another slant ramp and kicks you out into the hallway where the AN-94 is. Let's turn on that. So it slides you into this hallway. Here's the AN-94 would be right here. And then you run down the little hallway. You've got your couple little zombie windows. Looks like I didn't put it on the map, but there's a little buy door right here. You've got to buy to get out of this area. It'd be right here. My bad, I'll fix that on the maps. So anyway, so you run around here, there's a zombie window. You've got two paths you can go here. You can go here through these two circle rings. You'll know that when you run through the area. And past that you drop down into the big Buddha room, or there's another drop here. You can run through here and drop down into the Buddha room. Same difference. The only difference is if you go through this way, you end up, there's an upper ledge here. Once you drop off that upper ledge though, there's really not a way to get back up to it. So in the Buddha room there's a couple big pillars you can kind of climb up on. This one you can't do a lot on other than just holding off zombies from. This pillar you can actually walk up and gets up to this ledge on the outside edge of the room. There's a zombie window up there, but some zombies will show up from here. But anyway, again, the Buddha room, nothing real exciting, just a room. It's a great room to hold off zombies. If you got one or two players in there, you can run big circles around that room. Anyway, to get out of there, there's a little pillar here off to the side of the room you can kind of run out on. You got to do a sprint jump, and it gets you over to the other set of buildings that the power is in. If you make just a kind of a regular jump, you'll end up on the lower level. If you do a sprint jump and jump right at the very last second, you'll end up on the top level of this other building, and it gets you a lot closer to the power room, so you can get the power on faster and have to buy less doors in the beginning. So let's turn off this other stuff and we'll go over to the other set of buildings that has the other set of elevators and the power and all of that. Alright, if you make the jump over to power and you ended up on the lower level and didn't make the high jump, you'll end up here. And you come into a hallway. You can basically just look at my map and view all that, but you have access to a couple elevators that are the side-by-side elevators, plus another elevator back here. There is another elevator, but it doesn't drop down this far, so at this level you don't have access to it. But you can run around. There's a few buy doors, zombie windows, and just different paths you can go. And this is the build table, I believe, for the liquefier. And this is like a couch you buy to take the stairway up to the next level. So let me turn on that. As I said, that's the couch you can buy. Here's the stairway. So let me turn out that lower level, and now we'll look at where you end up when you come up the stairs to that next level. You come up here, you get a zombie window, but basically you can run around and through a buy door and then another buy door you can get in. This is the power room where the power switch is right here. You have access in that power room where the switch is to those two elevators that are side by side. Still have access if you go this way to the other elevator. Some other buy doors randomly throughout this level. If you made that jump from the Buddha room and made the high jump, you end up here. You can either buy this door or this door. There's two. They're big doors. And you can work your way in. If you buy this door, you've got an open path here. And then you buy this door, get you in the power room. Or you could have come this way. Whatever. And from here there's no stairway up because the next level is quite a ways higher, so you've got to take an elevator to get up to the upper level next. So let's pull that level up. Now you can see it's this green level, so let me shut off the lower one. Okay, now we have access actually to all four elevators on this level. There are some buy doors, those are the purple ones. There is the level above this, we'll get to that in a minute, but this is a spot where there's a ramp that actually goes up to the top level right here. We'll see that in a minute. But basically just some buy doors and zombie windows and regular doors. There's an MP5 in this area on the wall, I think right here. So if you're fighting on the roof, this is a good spot to get a gun where you can at least get refillable ammo. Anyway, so you can get to the upper level from the elevators on this level, or you can take the ramp that's here and walk right up it. There's just a buy door at the bottom of the ramp that you'll have to purchase in order to use that ramp. Let me turn on the top level here. Here's your ramp hole. As you can see, the ramp would have went down. So this is the area. If you had jumped across from the trample steam room, you end up on a little platform that's here. I'll show you that in a second, but you kind of come down the ramp. A lot of people will be fighting here, later rounds, whatever. And you can go through these little doorways, get over to your double elevator. You've got claymores that can be purchased on a wall over here, maybe back on this wall. And you have access to another elevator that's over here, but you have to kind of go up around, I'll show you in a minute, a path that's up this ramp, and you go across and you can drop down to this elevator. So let me turn on this other top part here. Yeah, so when you jump from the trample steam, you end up here. You come down this ramp, you can play on this level. This is the big level. Or if you want to cut over, you can drop down here, run around this little building, and then drop right here into on this little platform, which gives you access to this elevator. Or you can go into the building. There's a little room underneath this platform, and that's one of the box spawn locations also. It'll be right in there, so that's a third location for the box. And if you come over here to use this elevator, because maybe you wanted to use the perks or whatever that might have been in that elevator, to get out of this, the only way out of this spot is you've got to drop down to the level right below here, and then you got to run back through the level and use an elevator to come up, or come up this ramp. And anyway, let's double check and make sure we went through all the sections. I guess that kind of makes it seem, oh yeah, so easy, but once you play it, you do know how to get around. But really, I think a main key here is to take a look at the maps that I put on there. You can use this stuff to plot out and kind of see how many zombie windows are where, like to look for different places to hold out and know which directions you have to cover from, which way zombies are going to be coming from. Learn like certain ways to which doors you should leave shut as far as the buy doors, which ones you might want to buy to make it easier to defend from certain locations. But anyway, it hopefully will help some of you guys just to get an understanding of what this area is. Let me turn everything on just so you can get a good overview of what the whole Die Rise level looks like. Again, this red level here was your start area. There's a couple levels below you, and then if you take the 4-man elevator all the way down, there's that path on the bottom that lets you get over to this other stack. This area over here to the side, this is your trample steam room, but over here was your first mystery box location, the big hole in the floor. That set, I don't know, maybe that's technically part of the same building. It's just kind of over by itself and doesn't have any elevators in this section. But it's basically the side that has the big hole in the floor, plus all those drops down the side where you get by your Knuckles and the AN-94, which is pretty popular early in the game. And down at the bottom of all of this stuff on the side is the Buddha room. Pretty good holdout spot down there. And then your other third main area is, of course, the area where your other set of 4 elevators are, and the power switch and all that. And that's this whole area here. You've got 4 different levels, 5 if you count the little extra top piece on the top layer that you have to use to cut over to the one elevator. But you can use the elevators to get to most of that. If you're on the bottom level, though, you can't use the elevators because it never drops low enough to get on top of the elevator. You end up having to use you can get in them, but, or I mean not get in them, but you've got to use that ramp that's back here to get up to this level, and then from there you can actually get on top of those elevators. This other elevator back over here does not go all the way to the bottom like these 3 do, so you'll learn that over time too from seeing it. But anyway, check out those maps and print off some copies. Subscribe to the channel, like it if you like, and let me know what else you'd like to see on here. I am going to be adding some things anyway, like teddy bear locations and all that, and we'll just see what you guys think. Appreciate you watching, and